Yeah, the 2,000 metres shouldn't worry her. She's been relaxing in her work, and her win at Kembla Grange a fortnight ago was very, very good. So she should get a good run from a barrier and have her chance to win.
What about the track conditions, Shane? Perfect?
Yeah, the jar's definitely out of it. It's not a hard surface. There's plenty of give in the track. It's a lovely surface.
All the best for the big Group 1s.
Thank you.
Shane Dye, folks.
Yeah, Shane Dye, and as he said, the jar's out of the track. I think the track's good, but it's not lightning fast or anything, and I think every horse will have their opportunity at Randwick today. Guy Walter's done a very good job with that horse. She's now had 10 starts, and she's had 3 wins and 2 seconds among those 10 starts.
Got nothing to say?
I think Andrew Voss is with connections. Let's go to Vossi.
Yeah, I'm with trainer Guy Walter right at the moment. Very quickly, Guy, good fighting finish there.
Yeah, my word, she's a great little filly, very underrated. She's had a lot of bad luck in her career with wide barriers, and I thought it was a marvellous ride.
What's the future for this filly?
Well, we haven't discussed anything yet. We'll just take her a race at a time, but it was great to see her win like that. She's been, as I say, a little underrated, I feel, and we'll probably think about giving her a spell, I think, and perhaps looking at some nice sprint races in the spring.
All right, Guy, well done. I'll let you get to it.
She may have one more run before the carnival's out when, I don't know.
Okay. Thanks, Guy. Guy Walter, Ken.
Well, I've got to say this, Simon, they changed her the prize money and offer today. She was a pretty useful filly, and in her previous 9 starts, she'd won $96,000. Today, she picked up 170 grand.
When I said you got anything to say, I would have liked a little bit of congratulations. That's the second winner I've picked in 8 years.
Second winner, eh?
Second winner.
Well, when you get your third, I'll give you a pat in the back.
Now, we're going to take a break so I can soak it up.
On the Derby Doncaster Day, race 2, the San Miguel Sapphire Stakes. We've just seen that run and won by Spinning Hill. Shane Dye was the winning jockey. That's the first one for him this afternoon. Will he do better in the Group 1s that are coming up? Spinning Hill, $6.80, $2.50. Snippets Lass, $4.40. And Heather, 17, third at $7.30. OK, last night at Stadium Australia, the Rugby League representative season kicked off when Australia met New Zealand in the Anzac Test. And what a result it was for Australia, 52 blot. I'm not sure it was good for Rugby League generally, but Australia played very, very well. And watching proceedings, a member of our commentary team was Phil Gould. Well, Phil, when you see a scoreline like 52-0, you're happy for Australia, but not necessarily happy for Rugby League.
No, it's a poor result for Rugby League, but we can't take anything away from the Australian side. Realistically, the Kiwis only had about 7 or 8 test quality players there, and of those players, only 2 or 3 really aimed up on the night. The Australians were awesome. Every player contributed, and it was a terrific performance. OK, well, we saw the Kiwis, in the first 5 or 6 minutes, they looked as if they had a bit going for them. Then they had decisions go against them. This was ruled a double movement, and then, of course, we saw an offside pass. Yeah, it tended to play on their minds too. I think they had no luck with the video referee early. This one, Vagana, was ruled to have advanced the ball illegally. And another one, just a forward pass here ruled by the referee and the linesman. It was flat, but again, it went against the Kiwis. And unfortunately, the very first opportunity the Australians got, they converted into points. I thought that pass was fairly flat and fair. Had it gone to a video referee, it might have been different. But Phil, in big-time football, they're the decisions that you've got to cope with. They're going to happen in a game somewhere along the line over 80 minutes. Yeah, I think no doubt New Zealand needed to get off to a good start, and a try by Vagana or perhaps a break off there with Matt Rewell coming onto the short pass would have lifted their confidence, but the Australians certainly capitalised whenever they got an opportunity. All right, well, talk us through the first half for Australia, which was just totally dominant and set the scene for the entire game, obviously. Yeah, Brad Fittler, he was out for a big game. I spoke to him during the afternoon. The first time he got inside their quarter, he challenged the defence personally. He also knew not to bomb his Roosters teammate, Richie Barnett. All kicks were going towards the wingers, and with great results, Leslie Bonacolo handed up a gift there for Matt Rogers, and Australia were off to a flying 12-0 start. The key, just the forwards were just dominant and gave the backs every opportunity? Well, everyone played their part, Ken. I mean, the Australian forwards were extremely dominant. And from that, the ball players were able to have a field day. Kamali, Smith, Fittler, Scott Hill playing in his first test. Here again, another kick across field to a winger. is badly handled, and Wendell Sailor picks up the crumbs. They certainly put some pressure on with their kicking game out wide.
The thing about this game too is the debutants, they had such a confidence-boosting first match. They couldn't wish for anything better to hold their spot in the side as the years roll on.
No, dream debuts for them, but I mean a lot of hard work was done up front. The fellas like Webke and Stevens and these fellas played particularly well. Rodney Howe had a big hand in proceedings. Gordon Tallis was at his rampaging best, and that makes the way for the ball players to be able to do their jobs. And you know, when you've got a side with as much class as the Australian team, you know, these types of things become run-of-the-mill. As the game wore on, the New Zealand defence really started to crumble, and there were more and more opportunities.
Brett Kamali, I mean, Andrew Johns was missing, but he had a beauty, and of course the intercept specialist here, Ryan Girdler.
Yeah, you can't believe he's got another one, can you? He should play in a balaclava, Ryan Girdler. He's the best thief I know in rugby league. He pinched another one there the other night. Brett Kamali's an outstanding footballer. No one's ever questioned his ability to play Test football. It's just that he's playing in the same era as a fella called Andrew Johns.
How about this? Little pirouette.
They didn't do their homework on the individuals, the Kiwis, because there were players that made breaks out of footwork. Fittler here again. They just didn't do their homework on the individuals. It was too simple for Australia. And, you know, at the end of the day, you'd have to say New Zealand were poorly prepared for the game.
All right, I mean, there was a couple of horrific injuries out of the match, and that's the shame about it. I mean, Chris McKenna had a wonderful game, and then, of course, he had this injury where it looks like he's twisted his ankle ligaments.
Yeah, terrible. Having a good game, Chris McKenna scored a try on debut. This is bad luck for himself and, of course, the Sharks, who'll miss him if he's out for any length of time. That's a common injury, coming down on your ankle, just twisting it, and you can see the pain there on his face straight away.
You caught up with Richie Barnett when? Today, was it?
Yeah, I rang Richie in hospital. He's in Westmead Hospital. He's going to be moved to have an operation. He's not only broken his nose, he's got depressed fractures of both cheekbones. So it was a terrible injury, and he could be out to anything 2 or 3 months. OK, now you haven't put up the white flag out here this afternoon, have you? I mean, you've got a big ticker for putting. Oh, mate, all punters have got big hearts, and it's my very favourite race day of the year, Doncaster Day, so I'm going to get out there and mix it with them. OK, well, mix it with them. How about sharing some of the insights? Yeah, well, the few chances. I really like Freemason in the Derby. I think that John Hawkes has set him for the race. He's had the best preparation. I know the favourite Blackfriars is a good horse, but he's only had 3 runs from a spell, and I just think the preparation might get the John Hawkes trained Freemason home. Doncaster? I'll be cheering for Sunline. It's such a hard race. I do think the John Hawkes pair again, Over and Higher, are probably the best weighted horses in the race. But she's such a great mare, Sunline. She's carrying a big weight. Only 6 horses have won the Doncaster twice in a row in the 100-year history. I'd love to see her do it this afternoon. Good on you, Phil. Well, get out there and take a bit of money. $8 million out there today in prize. I don't know if I can get $8 million out of them, but whatever I get will be nice. OK, thanks very much, Phil. Good. We'll be back on Doncaster Derby Day right after the break.
Plenty of movement around Randwick for this San Miguel Day, the Derby and Doncaster here at Royal Randwick. A lot of expectations, some big races just around the corner, and one of those is the Adrian Knox Stakes. Let's have a look at the totes for race 3. Gilded Angel on $10, Coco Cabana $3.40, Spotswood $3.70, Go You Beauty $18. I'm not even going to try and say that. Number 5 is $8. Stella Marie, $14. Kirkstall Lane, a good run last week, $15. Keener at $22. Not a lot of support there for the Darren Beedman mount. Avildi, $25. Fly By Night, $24. Number 11, Dot the Eyes, $30. 12 and 13 are home on the straw. Life Goes On, $58. Scarlet Air, $186. Circus Act is at $34. So it's going to be a beauty race, the Adrian Knox Stakes, over 2,000 metres for the 3-year-old fillies. Now, our punting challenge last week at Rosehill, you might remember, the Johns brothers, well, as far as I'm concerned, and I think it's a rugby word, they were Neville's, Neville nobodies, they were pathetic. Now, today we're just going to add a little bit of class to our punting challenge, and with me, the Lee brothers, not the Johns brothers, but the Lee brothers. Shane and Brett, g'day, fellas.
Thank you.
Welcome home.
It's good to be home, yeah. It's been a long 18 months, a lot of cricket on. Just got back from South Africa, which is a bit of a hectic tour, but it's good to be home.
Tell me about South Africa. You know, obviously there was the big blow-up with the Hansie Cronje affair. Did that change everyone's attitude? How did you guys approach that 3-match series?
Well, we were obviously trying to just focus on our game. It was a really rushed tour. We actually basically got there and we're playing a day and a half after we arrived, and playing, you know, every second day after that. So we were trying to focus on our game, which is, you know, our usual process. But yeah, it did take a little bit away from the game of cricket, I thought.
Brett, it's been a wonderful 12 months for you. You've just grown and matured. How have you found the last 12 months? I mean, how have you coped with it?
It's certainly been the best 12 months of my life. You know, it's just great to actually be in a side that's playing such good cricket. You've got a guy like Steve Waugh, who's a captain, who's probably the best captain in the world right now. You just run through a brick wall for him, and I'm just very happy to be a part of that side. Yeah.
Now, fastest ball of the summer or fastest ball of the year, you produced it in South Africa. You produced it under pressure. I find it amazing how you continually bowl quick. I mean, have you worked particularly hard on fitness?
Yeah, I had a very big pre-season. I've done like a lot of work with Dennis Leo the last 2 years, so he's helped my action heaps. And basically, I'm just trying to sort of work on some rhythm and not try and worry about bowling quick. And I find that if I can actually do that, that's actually when I can sort of actually bowl quicker. So
156 Ks, quick enough.
Not too bad.
Put the shutters up a few.
Yeah.
I mean, you seem so calm about it too. You know, even though you're bowling fast, I mean, a lot of times, and I think Shane would back me up, you know, your fast bowlers, when they see a batsman at the other end, they like to, you know, I suppose verbalise in a way, and lots of stares and follow-throughs, but you seem to just enjoy it, take it in your stride. Would I be right in saying that?
Yeah, for sure. I mean, I don't sort of try and just basically go there and try and either sledge the batsman. I just go there and enjoy my cricket, and I find that just basically works best for me.
I think you're the only fast bowler in the world that doesn't sledge a batsman. Shane, your bowling itself, I noticed a couple of times, and I should blame you two for not getting much sleep for the last couple of weeks, because you kept taking us through the night all last weekend, but you were bowling at a fair pace yourself. I reckon you got to 144, 145 Ks yourself.
Yeah, and I'm bowling in the wind as well, which is, yeah. But, yeah, I'm obviously a lot different bowler to Brett. I try and use a little bit more variation, especially in a one-day game, and, you know, as you did yourself, mate.
You enjoy it?
I do. It's, you know, one-day cricket, I think Test cricket's the be-and-all end-all for a cricketer, but, you know, the one-day game is very competitive these days, and as Brett said, we're both playing in sides at the best teams in the world at the moment, and it's a great experience.
I would love to know some stories, and I don't know when you're going to bring out a book, but both of you should, and you should do it together. Everyone talks about what happened in the backyard and what happened when you were growing up. Were you two competitive against each other?
We were very competitive, but myself being the oldest brother, I was the one that batted first. I was the umpire, the scorer, so I did quite well. And
the cheat too, mate.
I was a cheat, yeah. But we had a younger brother, Grant, who he was always a fielder, so that's why I think he retired at 19. But I was always very competitive.
Now, talk about being competitive. You're obviously race goers. You wouldn't miss a race meeting. You've done form every week, 7 days a week, each 52 weeks of the year. Would I be correct?
Exactly right there, mate. Yeah.
Now, do you follow the races at all?
Personally, I haven't lately, no. It's actually my first time I've ever actually been in the races. So,
oh, good, Brett. It's nice having you along then, isn't it?
I'm on debut, so hopefully I can win some money for charity today.
What we do, mate, the head is the north end and the backside's the south end, all right?
I think I might bowl from the north.
Yeah, so always look at both ends and try and have a look in the middle and come to a selection.
That's right.
Shane, are you a follower at all?
No, a little bit. I enjoy getting out to the races here. It's always a good day. I think the last couple of times I've been out on Melbourne Cup Day, I haven't even seen a horse. I've been stuck in the champagne bar. But as Brett said, we're here for charity day, and hopefully we can win a few dollars from it.
Well, there's no rules to it in selecting a horse. Just select the number and a name you like, or colours, or whatever you might go for. Now,
4 legs and a nice tail, I suppose.
Yeah, that'll do us. That'll do. Now, the Adrian Knox Stakes is coming up, race 3. That's the first one we're going to put the pressure on you for. Shane, what are you going for?
I'm going for, I think it's number 3, Spotswood. I know that's a New Zealand horse, and it's been doing quite well over there, but I think it should run quite well today.
Brett?
Coco Cabana, I think. It's ridden by Shane Dye, so I think I might have my money on that.
Now, charities. You mentioned your charities. Shane, who are you with today?
Well, we're both supporting the Smith family.
Both of you?
Yeah.
Oh, the Smith family could be in for a hell of a bonanza if you go all right.
Hopefully.
Now, I think we've got $500 for each of you to spend during the day, and the AJC have kindly donated that to us today, so many thanks to the AJC. And fellas, spend it wisely, and we look forward to plenty of winners for you right throughout the day.
Thanks, Simon.
Thanks,
Enjoy the day, and mate, water in between races is probably the best way, just to keep the mind clear.
No problem.
The Lee brothers with us, and we're going to have a bit of fun. They're going to be with Andrew Voss right throughout the day, telling us who may win and who may not win. I'm sure they're going to go all right. We're going to take a quick break on the Wide World of Sports. anything to do with you?
Well, it's got a little bit to do with Max Presnell and myself, and we're always going crook about the poor food on a race course. At least you can get some decent food here, sausages and good stuff like that.
So in the papers, you've just given the catering staff here a spray, have you?
I just told them in my column in the Daily Telegraph that things are a bit dear, $7 for a ham roll. So now you can buy good Kenny food here, Kenny and Max stuff.
So that's good, is it? That's beautiful, healthy stuff, a big fat snag.
Yeah, well, that's what I like, mate. I don't want to go there, come to the race course and having a bit of an orange or something. You know, when you're doing your money, you feel hungry.
Let's get back onto the racing. The Derby's just around the corner, and Tim Sheridan's with one of the major connections.
Thanks, Simon. Down here at the stalls with Robert Prescott, the trainer of the New Zealand filly Hill of Grace. Well, Robert, she smashed them in the Ansett last weekend. Can she do it to the Colts today in the Derby?
Well, I don't know about smash, just finish a little bit in front would be very nice, but no, she's come up fit and well, and I'm very confident of a nice run.
How is the horse after the win last weekend?
Oh, very good. She just topped her off nicely, and she looks improved for the run.
She's had a couple of seconds over the mile and a half in this preparation. What about the Randwick mile and a half?
I think it will suit her. Randwick, lovely big track, and I really think that should be her forte.
Connections of Blackfriars, Robert Sangster seems to think that there's not much opposition in this race. What do you think?
That's nice. I hope to prove him wrong.
Yeah. OK, good luck in the race, Robert. Thanks a lot. OK, Simon, Robert Prescott, trainer of Hill of Grace for the Derby. Back to you.
Thanks for that, Shero. And it's tough, isn't it, a filly against the Colts in a big race like this?
It is, but those that have run in the AJC Derby have generally acquitted themselves well, and I think Hill of Grace is in this right up to her ears.
Well, I wonder if Wayne Harris thinks Hill of Grace is in it right up to her ears. He joins us now. Wayne, thanks for your time.
Pleasure, Simon.
Mate, a big day. How do you see the filly running against the Colts in the Derby?
As Kenny just alluded to, I think that they wouldn't be running her in the race if they didn't think she had a good chance. Normally the better fillies can do it. Pretty open Derby though this year.
Well, last year Grand Archway ran third, and I think Hill of Grace is as good a filly as Grand Archway.
I'd probably have to agree with you, Kenny.
Well, a lot of people are riding on courage today, Wayne, and that's why we wanted you to sit down and have a yarn to us today. You've gone into the Authors Stakes. Peter Fenton's put this book together, Riding on Courage. I've spoken to you down in Melbourne when you were down promoting it there, and I was fascinated, I must admit, one by reading the book and finding out a lot more about Wayne Harris, but you seem to have built up a real relationship with Peter Fenton.
Great guy, as you alluded there. I didn't actually write the book. I helped him. We put about 12 months together with this.
I wasn't going to tell people that, mate.
I'm not that clever.
Keep people thinking you're a smart fella.
No, Peter and I, we've been doing this for about 12 months. He did a lot of homework on it, did a lot of, behind-the-scenes investigations into it. It's not just a racing story either. There's a lot of ups and downs, the roller coaster ride that I went through. A lot of funny stories there as well.
It's a story about life, and I can recommend it to everyone as a good read. And the highlight of your life, Wayne, the high was the Melbourne Cup in 1994 that you won on June, wasn't it?
Definitely. That's a day that everyone dreams about. Here we are here in the blue and white colours, just getting a run through, one off the fence, and it was a magical day, Kenny.
It sure was, and the risk, everyone doubted June at the 2 miles before the race at the 3,200 metres, but I think you were confident a fair way out, weren't you?
I was. The thing was to get him pretty well settled, which I did. He did pull a little bit, but I rode him pretty economically, where a lot of the other jockeys in the race weren't able to do that, and I think that's what won me the race. I didn't cover much ground.
David Hayes was the trainer as you in that year. I mean, what was the communication prior to it? Was he a bit worried that he mightn't stay the 2 mile as well?
He just said, try to put him to sleep. He said he was a bit worried that he would pull. He said, if you've got to be up there with him, don't fight him. So I was lucky. I rode him the way that I wanted to ride him.
Was your first ride on the horse, wasn't it?
First time.
Because he was the sort of horse, if you'd watched all these tapes leading in, you'd think, how am I going to put him to sleep? But you must have just a straight affiliation with him.
Yeah, you've got to have I think I did have a good affiliation. A lot of jockeys tried, died trying to conquer him, but I had a pretty good run with Jern.
Now, talking of conquering, Wayne, I mean, you've had some battles along the way health-wise. I mean, were they your toughest challenges?
Health-wise, yeah, I went through 2 brain tumours. I think the biggest thing in my life were the comebacks that I made. To be able to come back from one, I come back from about 4 or 5 very serious illnesses to get back and ride winners every time. The last one was a hard one. I had meningitis 3 times. To come back and ride after that was, and it come against me in the long run.
Wayne, without giving any secrets away, your health is not flash at the moment, is it?
I've got a disease called arachnoiditis. It's something that they don't know much about. For years they thought put it down to multiple sclerosis. It's a disease that eats away your nerves in your spine. I've got a little feeling down my legs at the moment. I've got to walk with the aid of a walking stick, so it's not very good, and not a great, at the end of the road, I don't think it's going to be that great.
Not many people giving you any lip while you got the walking stick anyway, because you give them a quick belt around the shins.
Well, David Hayes only got one last night.
Well, mate, look, it's good to see you here and good to see you always with a smile on your face, and I think that's the great thing about Wayne Harris, that with all these problems you've had, you've still got a smile on your face and you're still very positive about it all, and that gives a lot of people a hell of a lot of heart.
And if you got $24.95, get out and buy the book Riding on Courage. You'll enjoy it.
So you should. Now, mate, just hang around with us. We've got race 3 coming up, and it's going to be a beauty, and let's have a look at the totes.
Yeah, Gilded Angels at $10, which seems a fair quote to me. Coco Cabana, I've selected her. I thought she'd be at a better price, all the same, $3.30. The New Zealand filly Spotswood at $3.90. Go You Beauty, I like the name, $17. Dotteressa, $7.50. Stella Marie, $14. Kirkstall Lane, $14. Keener at $23. Over the Pace to Avilda at $26. Fly By Night at $25. Dot the Eyes at $36. Then we've got 2 scratchings, Lava Lady and the late scratching Tambourine. Life Goes On at $69. Scarlet Air at $213. And Circus Act at $38.
Now, let's have a look at our tips. And Kenny, you've got the dancing Coco Cabana. I've gone down to Melbourne with Gilded Angel. Simon Marshall with Spotswood. Wayne, is there one you fancy in this?
I've boxed the 3 of those. I put Coco Cabana on top of Gilded Angel and Spotswood.
Don't come to box. Give us the one.
I've gone Coco Cabana. I think she's a filly that's come through the grades and just keeps improving.
Okay, let's hear what the punters have to say out the back, and here's Andrew Voss.
Well, would you believe it, Simon, our celebrity challenge, and I think the punters, they agree with the Lee boys, Shane and Brett. Coco Cabana, yes, and Spotswood are almost level favourites at the moment, and their price is pretty much the same as what they are on the tote as they are in the ring here. But if we are looking for ones at value, there is a tip around for Malcolm Johnston trained number 6 Stella Marie to be ridden by Danny Beasley. It has certainly come in the market. Nice bets about it. And also one at a price right at the bottom, Circus Act for Graham Rogerson. If you're looking for value, it may well be the one, number 16. Coming up in race 3, which will come up after this break on Derby Doncaster today on the Wide World of Sports.
Doncaster Day here at Randwick, and it's going to be an absolute beauty. The race that's just around the corner is the San Miguel Adrian Knox Stakes over 2,000 metres, and Kenny, there are the totes.
Yeah, and it's a $500,000 race, 500 grand up for grabs. Gilded Angel at $10, Coco Cabana $3.30, $3.70 now for Spotswood. Go You Beauty at $17, Dotteressa at $7.60, Stella Marie at $13, $14 Kirkstall Lane, Keener at $23, Avilda at $25, Fly By Night at $29, $42 for Dot the Eyes. The 2 scratchings, Lava Lady and the late scratching Tambourine. Life Goes On at $77, Scarlet Air's a roughie $248, and Circus Act at $41. Alrighty, they're over at the barriers. Let's hear from Simon Marshall as we see the Malcolm Johnston runner, Stella Marie, in centre screen.
Thank you, Kenny. Yeah, Spotswood probably presented the best around behind the barriers, number 3. And Coco Cabana, very hard to split these 2 in looks, but I thought that Spotswood just looked a little bit better. Coco Cabana's lovely and relaxed too, with Shane Dye aboard. Gilded Angel was one that fizzed up a little bit. She's drawn a wide gate today, folks. She sweated up along the neck and the flanks too. She's a little bit fizzy, a lot of nervous energy about her. Number 5, Dotteressa. She presented very well. Jim Cassidy to be ridden, 52.5 kilos on his back. Looked great walking into the gates. So did number 8, the grey Keener. Took the eye, nice and fit. Very hard to get a guide on the grey horses, but this horse is very forward. Big, strong type, number 9, Avilda, to be ridden by Larry Cassidy. Did look well too. Kenny, we'll go back to you.
Yeah, thank you very much, Simon. And as you can see, the market movers there. Coco Cabana's pretty steady. Spotswood's firm to touch from the early quote. And Dotteressa, who will get back a little and rattle home, has held her place well. Gilded Angel, pretty solid around at the $10 mark. Gilded Angel is from Melbourne. This is a race for 3-year-old fillies. Group 3, as I said, $500,000 in prize money. The winner gets 340 grand. And that's Life Goes On in the Cerise with the blue spots, about to join the line. And it's time for us to go to Terry Bailey for the call for the San Miguel Adrian Knox Stakes.
Platform, Coco Cabana drawn gate 4, Spotswood in 3. They balance up. Avilda just moving. Scarlet Air well behaved. And the gates crash back, and Keener near the inside and on the rail. Fly by night away quickly. Coco Cabana and Stella Marie and Spotswood going forward after the start. Go You Beauty wide out, and Avilda starting to travel forward from Dotteressa, Kirkstall Lane. Gilded Angel very wide from Dot the Eyes. Scarlet Air, Circus Act getting back, and Life Goes On at the tail of the field. Coco Cabana's out very wide with Stella Marie over the 1600 metre crossing, and the favourite now goes to the front from Stella Marie. 2 lengths to Go You Beauty on a limb. It's a muddling speed, and Avilda whipped up to make a line of 4. 2 away Spotswood. Dotteressa, the blue colours going past her from Keener. Fly By Night on the fence. 2 lengths to Kirkstall Lane. Dot the Eyes. 2 lengths to Gilded Angel. Circus Act is a long way back from Scarlet Air, and Life Goes On the trailer. Avilda found the paint inside the 1200 metres mark and went clear by 2 lengths on Go You Beauty and 3/4 Dotteressa. Coco Cabana was travelling on the inside. Spotswood starting to travel up. It's going forward, and Stella Marie splits the pair. 2 lengths to Keener. Fly By Night the fence. 1 away Kirkstall Lane. Then Dot the Eyes, Circus Act and Gilded Angel a long way back from Life Goes On and Scarlet Air. 850 to run in the Adrian Knox, and Avilda just coasting along in front with no pressure. Led by a length and a half on Dotteressa, and Go You Beauty on the fence. 3/4 Spotswood, and the Kiwi filly is beautifully positioned. 1 away Stella Marie, and Coco Cabana's in traffic on the fence. Going around her, Kirkstall Lane from Keener. Gilded Angel starts a run, then Fly By Night, Circus Act, Dot the Eyes, Life Goes On and Scarlet Air. On the bend, 500 metres to go. Avilda in front, given a bit more leather. Straightened up by 3/4 of a length on Dotteressa. 1 away Spotswood and Kirkstall Lane. 2 lengths Stella Marie, and then came Coco Cabana on the fence a long way off them. Dotteressa being nursed by Cassidy. It raced to the front at the 300. Got 3/4 on Avilda. 2 lengths Kirkstall Lane, but the pumper went for home, and Dotteressa shot away. 100 metres to go. Dotteressa 2 lengths on Avilda and Kirkstall Lane. Then Spotswood and Fly By Night, but Dotteressa's killing them. Dotteressa won 2.5 lengths to Avilda and Kirkstall Lane. They were followed by Spotswood, then Life Goes On and Fly By Night. No Coco Cabana from Stella Marie and Keener. Gilded Angel well back with Scarlet Air, Circus Act, and near the tail of the field would have been Dot the Eyes. And the other Kiwi filly pulling up very abruptly past the line, Go You Beauty.
Well, they went slow in front, and nothing looked like running the leaders down. 5, 9 and 7. Dotteressa $7.60 and $2.30. Number 9 Avilda $6.10, and number 7 Kirkstall Lane $3.70 on the Adrian Knox Stakes. Jimmy Cassidy, a great rider. He summed it up early when he went up outside the leader Avilda, and here you see him dashing away from Avilda, and well, the race is as good as over here, because Avilda in the Cerise colours, ridden by his brother Larry, actually boxes on to run second, and that's Kirkstall Lane making a late charge down the outside in the yellow sleeves with the black cap, but really she was never going to get to anywhere near the winner, and it was a most comfortable win for Dotteressa. Second Avilda, Jim Cassidy, Larry Cassidy Quinella, with Kirkstall Lane ridden by Craig Carmody third. Look at Jimmy Cassidy rather whipping the right hand, so's Larry on the second horse in the Cerise. Third is Kirkstall Lane, and that's the Kiwi filly Spotswood in the red and white colours, and the white cap in 4th position there. But really, it's a pretty easy win. A few of the jockeys should have queried their tactics there. They're going that slow in front. Jimmy Cassidy woke to it. He went straight up outside of his brother Avilda. And look at the style of these Cassidy boys. Larry in the Cerise, Jimmy in the blue and white. The pupper, he's won many big races. He loves these carnivals, and with a 340 grand first prize, that's about 17,000 at 5% for Jimmy Cassidy. Simon Marshall, I think you'll find him in a happy mood.
Yeah, very much so. Excels on days like this. Jimmy had a beautiful run, was going to win from a long way from home.